When Oklahoma became a state in 1907, the state constitution created a system of local government. Each of our 77 counties had the exact same structure as the next. The county seats were placed so every taxpayer could get to the courthouse, take care of business, and travel back home in one day, all on horseback. Every citizen had the opportunity to participate and use the services of our new state. More than 100 years later, very few of us ride our horses to the courthouse. We drive cars and do business on the internet. But county government is still vital to the lives of every Oklahoman. The modern county courthouse is where you can get a marriage license, or register to vote, or file a deed. It's where criminals are locked up and prosecuted. Whether it's emergency 911, public records, emergency management, building and maintaining local roads and bridges, or clearing those roads during ice storms, the courthouse is the center of activity. County government is still average citizens helping their neighbors and communities thrive. It's one of the most accessible forms of government, and it's closest to the people. Each of our 77 counties has 8 elected officials: 3 county commissioners, a county clerk, assessor, treasurer, court clerk, and sheriff. Let's take a moment and see the duties of each of these.
A county commissioner's job is a very diverse role. Not only do we take care of the roads and bridges, primarily we are financial people. We have to help manage the money.
Counties are divided into 3 districts, each with an elected commissioner.
All right, it's 9:30 and we'll call the regular meeting of the Russian...
All 3 form the governing board of county commissioners.
You have to meet once a month by law. Most counties will meet 3 times to 4 times, usually on Monday.
The Board of County Commissioners is what makes up the funding mechanism for all the other offices, all the other elected offices. No, we're not over them, but we are over their funds.
Not only is the board responsible for preparing the county budget, along with all the other county officers, but it also calls county elections, approves the purchase of operating supplies and equipment, sells or purchases public land or buildings for the county, approves bids for all of the purchases exceeding $10,000, enters into all contracts on behalf of the county, and manages the county road system. The county clerks have 3 primary responsibilities: administration, financial records, and land records.
Through administration, we are recording the activities of the county. The county clerk is the secretary to the Board of Commissioners and to other boards such as the Tax Roll Correction Board or Excise Equalization Board. But something more behind the scenes to the public is that finance department, where we are recording all of the transactions and the expense of public funds.
The county clerk pays bills and payroll and can serve as the county purchasing agent. The clerk's office also maintains the budgets for all of the other elected officers. Of course, most citizens associate the county clerk with filing land records and deeds. How does a person prove that they own the property they say they own?
The county clerk records deeds, mortgages, oil and gas leases for the public and for the permanent record.
All of these records are open to the public. But computerization means books like these may be a thing of the past.
Well, that's changing over time. Certainly with technology, we're able to provide documents in a different manner.
Online availability in some counties gives the public even greater access. But whatever the form of future documents, the county clerk has a responsibility by law to carefully preserve and protect the records, many of which date back prior to statehood.
It's going to be a continued process after I'm long gone.
When you purchase property and file a deed, you become the property owner of record.
Mr. Cook? Hi, I'm Dennis. I'm with the county assessor's office.
One of the jobs of the assessor is appraising and assessing all taxable property for ad valorem taxes.
Ad valorem, as the Latin term means according to value. So you pay taxes based on what your property's worth. So you would like for it to be based really on what your property's worth and not a high value, not a low value.
The assessor estimates the fair cash value of all real and personal property.
We have to determine what fair cash value is. Fair cash being what a willing seller, willing buyer, knowledgeable seller, knowledgeable buyer, no duress, no foreclosures, an arm's length transaction. What would that represent in the market?
So the property is valued every year, but as far as visually being inspected, it's done every 4 years on this 4-year cycle.
During visual inspections, assessors check for changes that may increase or decrease the value. The valuation is adjusted for any exemptions, such as the homestead or the disabled military veteran exemption. Then an assessment ratio, or a percentage of the property value, is applied to get an assessed value. Assessment ratios can only be changed by a vote of the people. To ensure that every citizen is treated fairly, the Board of Equalization must approve the assessed value of each property. However, property owners can contest the fair cash value if they believe there is an error.
They can first come in and talk to the county assessor about it.
You can take it beyond us to the Board of Equalization with a formal appeal to the board, and then if a taxpayer is still not satisfied once they go through the Board of Equalization hearing, they can take it on to district court. So I think we're about the only office where every decision we make on valuation can be challenged all the way to the Supreme Court of Oklahoma.
The ad valorem taxes are determined by applying the millage, or taxation rate of the county, the local school district and career tech, health department, and other local units of government to the assessed value. A mill is $1 of tax for every $1,000 of assessed value. The treasurer is often called the banker for county government.
We invest, so that's like a banker, and all county monies are receipted through this office.
Of course, you have to have money if you're going to be the banker. You collect it, we keep track of it, and we have an excellent bookkeeping system.
The funds received are placed in safe investments until dispersed. Treasurers collect all property taxes and other revenues and then distribute them.
The procedure at the end of the month is called apportionment. The money is receipted in my office all through the month. It is not dispersed until the end of the month.
The monies that come in that are to be apportioned are apportioned to the schools, to the cities and towns, and back to the general fund of the county.
Duties of the treasurer also include issuing delinquent personal tax warrants and preparing financial reports for state and county officials. While the county clerk keeps the records for the county, the court clerk keeps the records for the district court.
The court clerks are required to maintain all the integrity of the district court records. We're to provide personnel for our special judges, district judges. We are to provide statistical information on the court cases that are filed within our office.
Cases are filed, traffic tickets, civil divorces, probates. We keep up with all the filings. We keep all the records.
The duties of the court clerk include maintaining the proceedings and journals of the district court, keeping records of all jurors and witnesses, and furnishing full transcripts of any court proceedings.
I need to pay my fines for Lisa Lynn Kaufman.
The court clerk is also responsible for several other activities, including endorsing injunctions, collecting all court costs, such as traffic fines, and issuing marriage licenses and, in some counties, passports.
The marriage license are always a fun thing. People are very happy then, and also passports, because usually people are in the process of taking a trip.
But they shouldn't be confused with county clerks.
We have a lot of people that come up here wanting to record deeds, things, power of attorneys and things, and we have to explain to them we only handle court matters and advise them to go down on the second floor to the county clerk's office.
The elected officials of each county is very, very important. Each one of them has a main functional job and responsibility and accountability that they're for. The sheriff is just kind of part of this. We interact daily, especially with the county clerk and the court clerk and also the county commissioners.
Sheriffs are the chief law officer of the county. Their job is to keep and preserve the peace. They arrest those charged with crimes and operate the jail. But county sheriffs have several other duties.
Most people get in law enforcement because we like to get the bad guys. That was what our whole focus is. Many of us, when we become sheriffs, we then realize there's a lot of different responsibilities and challenges to the job besides that.
Sheriffs are responsible for the operation of county jails. They and their deputies also serve warrants, papers, and orders of the district court. One of those orders directs the sheriff to sell the property of individuals who have had judgments rendered against them.
Well, usually if there's a default on a loan, we have to have a sheriff's sale. That gives the bank a chance to buy that property back. It also gives the public a chance to buy that property.
Another function of the sheriff's office is to serve personal property tax warrants. A tax warrant is issued by the county treasurer when a person fails to pay taxes on their personal property.
And then the sheriff or his tax warrant deputy or his field deputy then is responsible for going out and serve notice and also for the actual confiscation of this tax property that's in doubt right now.
So how is county government funded? Well, it's funded by you, the taxpayer. The largest source of revenue is ad valorem taxes from millages set by the state constitution. But property taxes are not just for county government.
The biggest part of ad valorem tax, though, contrary to belief, goes to the schools.
On average, 68 cents of every dollar collected goes to local public schools and 13 cents to career tax. The county keeps only 12 cents, and most of those funds are used to run the functions of the courthouse. County citizens also have the option of voting to fund several other services, such as the county health department, the county library system, emergency medical services, or county industrial developments. Since 1984, counties have also had the option of a countywide sales tax by a vote of the people, and counties also earn interest on dollars invested by the treasurer. County government also receives funding from fees for some services that are set by the legislature. While jails and many courthouse functions are funded largely through sales and property taxes, construction and maintenance of roads and bridges are paid for from other monies. Counties in Oklahoma are responsible for more than 85,000 miles of roads and over 14,000 bridges. That 85,000 miles is roughly 3.5 times around the world.
We try very hard to keep the roads in the best shape that we can as a public safety issue.
Counties normally fund county road and bridge work through state taxes on fuel, motor vehicles, and oil and gas production.
For county roads, most of the money comes from gasoline tax, diesel tax, some excise tax. We get some federal money that runs through ODOT for bridges and so forth.
That money is collected by the state of Oklahoma and divided among all 77 counties based on formulas that consider the number of bridges, road miles, population, terrain, and the size of the county. In addition, counties benefit from joint projects with Native Americans and their tribal road funds. But no matter the level of funding, maintaining roads and bridges will always be a priority for county government, for safety as well as economic development.
Being able to keep good infrastructure in place is vital in order to get good growth in your community as well as encourage the industry.
County commissioners and the other elected officials have the help of several boards and other organizations to provide the needed services in a county.
These boards are working together to provide services to citizens in all areas.
Probably no service is more valuable than making sure money is spent wisely and taxes are fairly assessed. That starts with the citizens who serve on the Excise and Equalization Board.
There are 3 members on the board, and one is appointed by the district judge, one by the Oklahoma Tax Commission, I think with some input from the state senator, and then the third is by the county commissioners.
Of course, the secretary of both the Equalization Board and the Excise Board is the county clerk.
Everything that is that they perform is in an open meeting, and it's open to the public, and they act as our checks and balances system, and they're a vital part of our budget process.
While the members serve on both boards, the purpose of each is quite different.
Primary function of the Excise Board is to provide oversight to the financing or the finances of the county. In other words, we have to approve any money that's budgeted and spent by the county.
And the Excise Board reviews both all the school budgets and requests, as well as municipal budgets and things.
Income to the county and the budget needs of each department are balanced to create the annual county budget.
There are two types of budgeting processes used in counties. Payne County has a budget board.
For most counties, though, the Board of Commissioners creates the budget. In either case, the Excise Board has the duty to review and approve the final budget. They also set the property tax levy for county government, as well as the school districts and municipalities, according to state statutory guidelines. While the Excise Board largely looks at money being spent, the Equalization Board has a different function.
The Equalization Board's primary function is to ensure that the property is taxed equitably among all classes of taxpayers in the county.
Essentially, they try to make everything equal, assuring every property owner pays their fair share, proportionate to property value. Citizens who believe their property is incorrectly assessed can file a protest with the Equalization Board. Correcting errors after the tax rolls have been certified falls to another board, the Board of Tax Roll Corrections.
That board is made up of a county commissioner, the chairman of the Excise Equalization Board, and the assessor.
The Board of Tax Roll Corrections is authorized to hear allegations of errors, mistakes, or differences regarding items on the tax rolls.
For some unknown reason or reasons that come about, maybe the assessor didn't know, or they're out of business, or they taxed something that had gone to be a non-taxable status, well, it's already certified on the tax roll that way that well, you cannot just arbitrarily change it. You have to go to the Tax Roll Correction Board and present that case.
And mainly it's to correct clerical errors that are made so that it can be handled locally.
Another appointed official within the county is the County Board Election Secretary.
The County Election Board secretaries are appointed by the State Election Board.
The election board secretaries have many responsibilities. The total operations of election from top to bottom, from registering individuals to vote, to getting candidates filed for office, to printing the ballots, to cleaning the machines, to setting up the polling places, to training the precinct officials. We do quite a bit in here.
Yearly we have elections for school board. They have an annual school election, and there may well be other elections beyond that, special bond elections throughout the year. Additionally, every 2 years, and in some cases every year, municipalities have elections, so we also conduct those. We also conduct elections for rural fire districts, rural road improvement districts.
A lot of people say, well, you just work once every 4 years, but that's truly not true, and we do elections all the time.
The election board itself helps ensure the accuracy and fairness of every election.
Election board's primary responsibility is to certify the elections.
We have 3 members, myself as secretary. I'm kind of the nonpartisan member, as you would be. Then we have a Republican member and a Democratic member. One's the chair and one's the vice chair.
And the chairman and vice chairman are selected by the political parties. Their nominations are made by the political parties to the state election board, and the state election board appoints the 2 party members for 4-year terms.
Voting is something that is so very important. If people want to feel like they belong to their government, they have to participate in their government, and it starts with a very basic thing of voting.
Many citizens don't realize the local Oklahoma Cooperative Extension Office is funded jointly by Oklahoma State University and local county government.
The Extension Office, I feel, is very unique in that we offer a variety of different programs and educational resources.
The main thing that OSU Extension offers is unbiased research-based, university research-based information for the citizens of Oklahoma.
The county offices are cooperatively funded through the county, state, and federal funds. You will see some counties that are 2 staff, some counties that are up to 8 staff.
We work very closely with county decision makers to design and incorporate the kind of services that each county needs. Each county is particular, with the services it needs.
We have a variety of information for everybody, and it's not just focused on one thing.
The Extension Office serves the county in 4 program areas:
4-H, Family Consumer Sciences, Agriculture, and Rural Community Development or Economic Development.
One of the things I like to say is if you don't have the answer, we probably do.
Many county extension offices work closely with fair boards to provide county free fairs and district livestock shows.
I think the importance of a free fair is probably 2 or 3 things. One, it brings the community together. Agriculture is definitely a big thing in Oklahoma, so our free fair gives the people of our county an opportunity to show off what they've done in agriculture, whether it be the largest pumpkin or the hay or grasses that they've grown and cut. It just the overall opportunity for the youth of our county to show and learn valuable skills, leadership skills, life skills.
The county fairgrounds are managed by the Fair Board. The board also sets the time and numbers of all fairs, agriculture shows, and events held there.
We've got a 9-person board. There's 3 from each commissioner district, 1 coming on every year, so you got to serve a 3-year term.
That term is an elected office. You would go and apply in late January, and elections held in February, and you'd start your new term the first March meeting.
Funds to operate the fairgrounds come from rental fees for its usage, donations, and county government. But the impact is often much greater than the money spent.
The economic benefit to this community 4 or 5 years ago was in excess of $6 million. We think we're doing a new economic impact study. We believe we're approaching $10 million economic impact annually to this community.
Those people buy fuel, they buy food, they stay in our hotels and motels, they go and watch the movies while they're here, they go and shop while they're here, and the economic impact for the county is just very, very large.
Another duty of county government is emergency management.
Usually we're not federally recognized, but a county commissioner and his crew are always the first responder for anything. If it's a tornado, if it's a fire, whatever it is, our equipment, our men are the first people there.
When tornadoes, floods, and ice storms come your way, emergency management is in action.
In emergency management, it can be very unique. Depending on the different county or the different area that it might be in, but there's some fundamental foundation functions of emergency management. One of those, probably most important in being, is maintaining the county's emergency operations plan.
That plan has a lot of contact information that keeps all the response agencies current, including myself. The sheriff, the fire, the police, the EMS, those are kind of what you call the primary first responders.
The county office also coordinates with the Oklahoma Department of Emergency Management, federal agencies, and local emergency responders to prepare for emergencies and disasters.
Some of the other things that the emergency manager is responsible for is coordination, whether that be coordination of resources and personnel within the county, your traditional emergency response resources like your sheriff's department, fire departments, EMS, but also coordinating outside resources that might have to come into the county as mutual aid response to assist the county for a larger scale event.
And the job of the emergency manager doesn't stop after the emergency is over.
We're also looking at that recovery aspect of our job, because we're looking for, when the event begins to wind down, how can we get our community back to normal, so to say, as quickly as possible.
The County Board of Health and the County Health Department are the local connection to the State Commissioner of Health and the State Board of Health.
County health departments are a function of county government.
We provide clinical services that are consistent throughout the state and consumer protection services throughout the state.
Each one's a little different and unique for its population.
Sometimes people think of the county health department as being where you can go to get an immunization or family planning, or those people that inspect restaurants. But our overarching goal is to improve the health of the community.
Any county with a health department is required to have a county board of health.
We have a 5-member board of health that is appointed.
Those 5 members are appointed by the State Commissioner of Health, by local county commissioners, and by the county district judge.
And their primary function is to approve our budget.
You know, different counties have different needs, and so they just want to make sure that any directives that come down from the state are really what is unique for this particular county.
Funding for the county health department comes from multiple sources.
We have, of course, local funding, which comes from local millage, which is from property tax.
We have state funds, which are then somewhat matched with those county funds. And then we have federal funds that come through the state health department for various programs and services.
Citizens who are asked to serve on these boards and organizations represent their friends and neighbors throughout the county.
One might be a farmer rancher, one might be an attorney, one might be a homemaker. We try to, on all of these boards and commissions, is to bring together a good combination so that you have a good rapport of ideas and solutions coming together.
The people we elect to positions of leadership in county governments are everyday citizens who believe a responsible local government can make a positive difference in the future of their communities. They become the planners and the problem solvers by understanding their community's current conditions and the direction they are heading. County officials are the first line of communication when working cooperatively with other jurisdictions, including federal, state, and local officials. County government works, and it works because of dedicated people from all walks of life who are willing and able to serve the community in which they live.
As a leader, you've got to make tough decisions. You've got to make the decision whether or not you spend money here or there.
I think taxpayers get more bang for their buck or stretch a dollar further in county revenue than any other form of government. And I think part of that is simply because we're closer to the people.
To me, being an elected official is a very prestigious and an honor to be an elected official in the state of Oklahoma. With this comes a lot of accountability and a lot of responsibility.
County governments, it's a government of the people, and it's here for them.